This is Reverend Eric, and I am offering a new online class called The Magical Philosophy of Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. This class explores Agrippa's theory of divine light as illustrated in the 3 books of occult philosophy. Together we will examine divine light's role in interior and exterior perception, an essential foundation for understanding the practice and theory of image magic. Learn how active perception with the inner senses is core to Agrippa's magical philosophy, and learn techniques for empowering magical images using this theory of divine light. To learn more and enroll, visit arnemancy.com/classes. That's arnemancy.com/classes. I'll see you there.
Time to get real. I want to see some crazy whiz-biz.
What's the magic made out of, Ding Dong?
I want to see some of that whiz-biz.
This castle is in unacceptable condition! Unacceptable! Mathematical! And the teleport.
Bacon pancake. Hello and welcome to WizBiz with Alex and Eric. I am Alex Psychedelic Glass Lamb, and with me as always is Eric BMO on a skateboard. Hello.
Hello. How is everything going today?
It's going well.
In this fine new year 2024 of the Common Era.
Common Era in this economy. This is my new plan is we just, especially me, scramble for a dumb nickname based on the episodes. And it's going to last one episode until we forget. On that note, hey, Eric, who's won the last 20 episodes?
Jesus, I forgot that we were doing that.
Me too. It's until I just said the thing where we're going to forget. And I'm like, oh, yeah. We've forgotten the who wins the episode.
It's kind of a bummer because I love that who wins the episode thing.
It's a fun segment that
when we remember to do it. It's really, really fun, and it leads to some interesting discussion. But apparently, we're bad at that sort of thing.
Yeah, I definitely am. So yeah, we are. This is our first time back in the studio in 2024.
We did record remotely once.
Yes. Yeah, I guess Happy New Year or whatever. I got nothing. Anything interesting in your end? Well,
I would like to say the episode before this one, which was the one we recorded remotely.
Yes.
I was home with the Rona and did the editing on it and was very bored and spent more time editing it than usual. And I added background music and sound effects and stuff like that. I know that you probably haven't listened to the episode, but Steph, I know you have, and I would love to hear what you thought. Steph, quick. I know you're out there.
Yes. I didn't listen to the episode because it's not out yet.
Right. But
I listened when we said the words out loud.
Do you think you will listen to it? That's the question that I have.
I will listen to 10 minutes of sampled stuff.
Okay.
Which is what I do with John Alex Hate Stuff as well, where we do a theme song for every episode that's like funny based on the movie, where I'll listen to what John chose there, and then just kind of sample stuff to like see what it sounds like or see what we're talking about. That's it, because I hate hearing me talk.
Wait, so do you edit John and Alex Hate Stuff?
Split it mostly. John does most of the editing on that one. I'm kind of I do all the other stuff. He does the editing. But we switch back and forth a little bit because we've been doing it for too long and neither of us particularly care about doing the other work anymore. So, but yeah, it's probably 70-30 maybe editing switches. And I edit most of the Patreon episodes. But we decided early on that those are going to be essentially no edits because, there's like 10 people there and no one ever downloads them. I think they just tried to support us to be nice, which is great. But it's like, I don't know why we would put in all this effort for like crisp audio that literally no one's listening to.
Yeah.
And it's like, who cares if you hear like, some more stammering than normal?
That's a good question. I enjoy a good stammer myself. I'm good at it. I spend a lot of time cutting out my own stammering when I'm editing, but
yeah, I'm really looking forward to, so it's 2024 right now. I'm going to say by 2026, maybe 2027, the AI models will be so good that they can train on our voices to make a better podcast for us. Not to perform it, but they can go through and see like, that's a stammer. That's the word, that's a 2-second pause. We want to limit pauses to 1.75. Actually know what background noise and remove it. I feel like 2-3 years, that's going to be like an easily accessible thing.
They already have a number of AI podcast editing tools. I haven't
Yeah.
really played around with them yet, but
I played with one, and it is I forget which one it was. It's the one that everybody uses. I don't remember, but maybe it was the Adobe Audition thing. Either way, one of the AI based ones that edits shit out. All I ran was I wanted to do remove truncate silence.
mhm.
So instead of, if we're thinking for 3 seconds, no one wants to sit through 3 seconds. They can sit through a second and a half or whatever
Right,
the actual
right.
math works out to. And it did a good enough job, but this is how it ended sentence,
oh,
where it's not that extreme because it's hard to perform that with a voice. But maybe it's just the aspiration at the end of the word, but you heard it was a hard cut.
Oh,
And it's
that's
not
too
like
bad.
it cut anything off, but it just,
That
like,
sucks because most DAWs have a plugin that can do the truncate silence stuff pretty well with a
Yeah.
lot of customization options.
Yeah, I think the customization you might have to dial in because Audacity and the ones I've run by myself have the same problem where
Oh, really?
it just doesn't cut off the word. It just, you can kind of hear there's like I don't know, subconscious thing as a human. You can hear where the sentence is done. Even, it's just that, like, it cuts off, like, it's like literally like a fourth of a second too early. It's so close. But
Interesting.
to me, I just hear it because it just sounds like a hard slant. Even if they built in a fade out, probably would be better.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on my recent episodes of the Arnemancy podcast, because I've been using a silence chopper thing,
Yeah.
and I'm really, really happy with how it's working. It's made editing a zillion times easier, but I would love to hear your feedback on it.
By the way, people at home, I think it was the V.io, or it's one of the popular audiogram makers is what it was. It wasn't a full podcast thing. It was an audiogram deal.
Ah, interesting. Huh.
But yeah, no, I'll give it a listen because that's the thing is with Audacity, which I use because it's incredibly simple. I like it's brute force.
Uh-huh.
It's like editing on tape. You can dial it in well enough. I just the difference in performance and the sound quality in this room differs enough that if I have the low cut off of like what is voice and what isn't, occasionally when either one of us will kind of the end of the sentence kind of trails off, the end of it gets cut. And it's so obvious that it's an artificial cut. It's not even like subtle. People that aren't weird fucking audio obsessives like me would hear it. And it's like, God damn it. But that's performance issue, not,
Okay. Interesting. Huh.
So you're probably fine because you got two people that are speaking well into a microphone. It probably won't have that.
Rarely do I have that.
Oh, really?
Oh, I mean, the only people who speak well into microphones are podcasters who edit their own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody else has.
I guess those are the people I ever talk to.
Well, yeah, but I mean, nobody else has good mic usage. In fact, I have to say that, I feel like one of the errors that I made over the last couple of years is people were asking me for mic recommendations, and I would be recommending dynamic microphones. But then editing people speaking into dynamic microphones who don't know how to use microphones has been just so frustrating to me. Get a condenser. If you don't have good mic habits, which trust me, you don't.
Yes.
unless you're a practiced podcaster who edits your own stuff, you don't have good. Even me, I screw up with this mic all the time. Alex probably edits it out, but he catches me. He's like, Eric, you're too far away from the mic. Eric, you're not facing the mic. He'll catch me just here. And we're using dynamic mics, but get a condenser microphone.
Yeah.
It'll pick up room noise, but it'll also pick up everything you say.
And if you have a quiet room, oh God, get a condenser mic. That sounds so buttery good. But,
yeah. And you can, and there's also a lot you can do even with a noisy room to if you're podcasting, you can do a lot of noise reduction stuff that just makes the condenser
you can
mic
certainly
so
help.
worth it.
But if you are not good with mic technique, especially if you're somebody that pops and does the syllabic S's, you don't just get a condenser mic, get a nice filter in front of it.
Yeah, get a condenser mic and one of those pop filter screens, and you're set.
I think maybe I'm just not running my equipment that much, but I've never had a problem with popping. Maybe I just don't do it that way.
I don't think you and I do it very much.
Yeah.
I haven't had a problem with it either. But I've recorded people who use the same setup as me, and they have pop.
Oh, interesting.
So I think it just depends. It's because we're such elegant speakers.
Oh, yeah,
we have really good control over our palettes and our our plosives.
I have good control over my volume. I don't have good control. Like, I'm just mumble mouth stammering, just terrible. But,
I've got good control over everything but my bowels.
yes. Yeah, I can attest to that. Yeah.
Okay, so we are a podcast about Adventure Time, not about microphones and podcasting.
Yeah, whatever.
But this episode, we're going to be discussing 4 episodes of Adventure Time.
Wait, let's put discussing in quotes, because there's a
There's
couple
not
of
a
these
lot.
that
There's
are
not a lot to say about these ones. But
2 of the 4 are what we'd call skip episodes,
Yeah.
but Eric likes talking about those. So I
Yeah.
have literally no notes on one.
So we're going to be doing season 4, episode 11, which is Beyond This Earthly Realm. Episode 12, Gotcha. Episode 13, Princess Cookie. And episode 14, Card Wars.
Interesting note on the order there, though. So Hulu is basically the order that's on the Wikipedia,
Uh-huh.
but this one, Card Wars and Gotcha are inversed.
So I was watching on Max again, and it's still just jumbled. It's still
Oh yeah, I gave
totally
up
out of order.
on Mac. Well, I mean, I don't have it anymore because I realized I was only watching Adventure Time, and that's on another service I'm paying for. So it's like, why am I spending $15 a month for nothing, or whatever the fuck
Right.
it is? 35 at this point.
Oh, so you got off of Max?
Yeah, I've been off of Max for a while now because I realized that I get Disney Plus and you can get Hulu for an extra like $5-7 or something.
yeah.
And Hulu has Adventure Time, and it also had Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Super, which I've just been binging.
I've
Turns
got
out Goku wins the fight.
Goku. Is that a
you
Dragon
really not-
Ball?
Do you really
man?
not know who Goku? Oh man. Eric.
I'm aware that Goku exists, but I have never actually asked anybody who is Goku.
He's the lead character in Dragon Ball,
Is he?
Dragon Ball Z,
does he
Dragon Ball
really-
Z Kai, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball GT.
What does he look like?
Well, he looks like, you ever see Goku?
No.
He's, I'm just going to make up the measurements, but he's like,
Okay.
so Dragon Ball Z is the one that's famous. He starts off as a little baby.
Oh.
He's like 4 in Dragon Ball, and he's a little adorable boy with a tail. He's got a monkey tail. But by Dragon Ball Z, he's
Oh
like,
yeah, I'd heard that. Isn't there a storyline in Dragon Ball that's based on the Monkey King legend, the Journey to the West, or whatever it's called?
I think that is a reference in the first series.
Okay.
Because the whole thing is him journeying around trying to get these magic Dragon Balls. And when you get them all, you can grant a wish. Which feels very kind of mythological. So I'm sure there's
Yeah, okay.
references there. But so, yeah, in the Dragon Ball Z and the later stories, like, he's, I can say, you know, he's tall, really big, like when you picture big anime hair, he's got big anime hair, spiky Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. He wears an orange jumpsuit. He wears an orange jumpsuit with some Japanese characters on the over the breast and one on the back.
So he's got spiky hair and he wears orange and it's kind of a poofy jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And he always has like a really aggressive, intense look on his face.
If you're thinking of action figures and probably things on t-shirts, yes.
Okay.
Because he's also, as per every single anime ever, he's the world's toughest guy, but he's also a goof and loves food.
Can he like shoot fireballs and
Yes.
stuff? Okay.
He's got a Kamehameha attack.
Oh, okay. I have a Kamehameha attack. I thought I was the only one.
Really? You know what's odd is I have an ex-ruler of Hawaii trapped in my closet. So I'd seen Dragon Ball Z years ago, and then I just started watching a YouTube or whatever about the history of Hawaii, and they talked about King Kamehameha. I'm like, the fuck? I had to pause it and do all this research. I'm like, why the fuck is his energy attack named after like the ex-ruler of Hawaii? And I finally found the answer was basically the guy's wife went, "Oh yeah, Kamehameha is a cool name. Why don't you name it that?" And she had just heard about the thing in Hawaii. Like, Dragon Ball Z fans, if you know the real story, fuck off. I know that's not exactly, but okay. So
I like it. I like that story. That works for me.
So Beyond the Earthly Realm, aka
Season 4, episode 11.
I was going to say Otherworld, ran by King Yama, and then you carry the Snake Road to King Kai's planet. This is the afterlife of Dragon Ball.
So lost.
Or Dragon Ball Z, one of the two.
Okay. Well, so Beyond the Earthly Realm, I love this episode. I love a number of things about this episode, including the complexity of Ice King's character. I love the reference to the spirit realm and the wizard eyes and how that's sort of like a callback to, the Ice King in the last Lich episodes. And I love the fact that when Jake yawns, he sounds like Chewbacca.
Yeah, that's fine. I like some kind of cosmic lamb statue. That's always good.
BMO on a skateboard.
BMO on a skateboard.
Oh wait, that's in Card Wars.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but like you've got a better memory than me, so I was just going with it.
I don't think BMO's not on a skateboard in this one.
Yeah, no, I think it's another episode, but I'm like, I don't know. You remember something. And I like Compy's Castle will jog your psychic schnapps.
The idea of a spirit realm is very occult. Like this is the sort of thing that happens in esoteric traditions like across the world. It's not even like a Western occultist sort of thing. But we definitely have this concept in Western occultism of a spirit world that is kind of like coexistence with ours. You might call it the astral realm or the etheric realm or something that is heavily populated with spirits. And in a universe before, or in a culture before empirical science, it was sort of thought that like everything that happened in the world that wasn't done by humans with free will was sort of done by like spirits moving things. And so it's interesting that like Ice King in his wizard ways has this way he can't turn it off. Like he's always looking into the spirit world, and the world is indeed just overpopulated with spirits.
Yeah. I enjoy the way they draw the spirits are just kind of gross and weird and like odd. There's an anime called this is not the anime show, it would be very quick, but there's an anime called Mushishi, which the idea is some people can see the spirit world that's right next to you, but these spirits are harmful, but they're weird, amorphous, like amoeba, strange things like in this one where it's just like, it's not like, hey, look, there's Dave the spirit that just totally like a recognizable anthropomorphic figure. This is, oh, I'm a weird half bug that shits out faces.
Yeah. So I think there's a weird implication, so we've talked before about Ice King and his madness and how.
I don't think we have.
We've talked a lot about Ice King and his madness.
I thought this was our first episode.
Am I not allowed to say things that reference earlier episodes? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I was just sort of thinking when watching this, and I've thought it before, like, we know that magic drives you insane in OO. Like, madness is part of magic.
Yes, I was just trying to think if that was a universal constant in the. Yeah, does every single
sadness and madness? Every magician.
I was trying to think if it's
wizard,
just the human magicians, but
every magician, every wizard has sadness, madness, and magic.
What about Abracadaniel?
He is still young, but later on,
he's just eventually going to be beaten down by the wizard world. Yeah.
We see that later on in Distant Lands when he has his little. He's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like in my kind of head, I was thinking that natural born magic users wouldn't go nuts, but yeah, we don't really see anybody like that that's like actually functioning. I guess those like the guys that run Mars with like the heads that spin, they're doing pretty well for themselves.
Well, that's a god. That's
okay. So once you cross the god line, that's probably what I'm thinking. Is once you get that god line, you can run some magic pretty well.
Yeah. And I don't think I don't think he's considered a wizard in the same sense. I think he's like a cosmic being.
Oh yeah. But whatever, magic's magic.
But even if having magic didn't drive you insane, imagine having to see the spirit world all the time with your wizard eyes. That would drive you insane. Like one of the spirits that Ice King gets Finn to get rid of is a friggin' eyeball that lives behind his toilet. Like, can you imagine every time you got to go take a dump, there's some eyeball just watching you?
Imagine. Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. That's, I'm guessing, not supposed to be that way. And I definitely don't have Cycloptides that lives in my bathroom. He definitely doesn't live in there and hasn't commented on you multiple times. Yeah, that would be weird, right? That'd be weird to have an eyeball creature living in your bathroom. Yeah, it'd be super weird. What an odd thing to say. Or can you pee in my sink later if you need to go?
I do already.
So whatever. Seeing the spirit world all the time. Shit, I had a thought on that about going insane. Bloop bloop bloop.
Sounds like it's already happening.
Yeah, no, my brain's well melted. That's a canonical fact.
Is that why we're turbos? Turbo bros, turbos.
Yeah, I really fell for Ice King there. Thank you for saving me because I wasn't coming up with this link. And this is probably an example of it a little bit. is him just trying to spitball something funny and it's not working.
Yeah.
And it's just like this, like desperate, like bros, like, oh man, I hear you. You go like, you're doing a podcast, you got an hour to fill, you got to say some shit. And you were hoping you're going to come up with something after the word turbo and it didn't happen.
So another thing that I really enjoyed about this, though, is like when Ice King's plot is discovered, it's because he's like jumping up and down in the bed and like chanting this weird nursery rhyme about what he's doing.
Oh yeah, his joy song. Yeah,
and it was amazing. Like it's possibly like the most clever piece of rhyme that I've seen in Adventure Time.
Yeah. Is that the one? Yeah, I think it. Wait, hold on. Oh no, that wasn't. Did you write down? Because there's another really great bit of writing by the Ice King where they realize the TV has static.
Yes.
Did you get that quote?
I didn't get the quote, but the Ice King has this whole thing where he like presses himself up against the TV he's like, they're watching us through a magical one-way mirror.
Yeah, he goes, what happens if you peel back the static veil watching us from a one-sided mirror?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, in your face, Black Mirror beat you by fucking years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant episode. Ice King steals the show in an amazing way. Like his madness is showcased really well. He has great lines. Like he kills it in this episode. The whole episode does though. So there's a couple other things that two more Jake things that I really liked. One of them is when Jake at the beginning says, "Oh my jaw."
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
So usually he says gob or glob or whatever, like he's referencing, the weird Martian god thing. But jaw is a
John and Alex Tate.
Yeah. But also, since this happened before John and Alex Tate stuff.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
I think it probably did. This is probably 2015.
I think I was doing this a little bit beforehand.
Did you just say I and I? So
yeah,
you already
twice.
knew what I was going to talk.
Yeah, I know. You didn't react the first time. I'm like, I wonder if he didn't hear me or just thought it was actually stammering. So I threw it back up to you.
Yeah, it's the Rastafarian reference.
No, it's why I can't get most of the websites I wanted for John Alex Tate. I like the Jaws thing because of fucking Jaw. No offense, Jaw. But it was like, God damn it, you're getting away with my podcast. Yeah, Rastafari.
Yeah. And then later on, so Jake doesn't know what's going on, but Ice King and Finn have both been trapped in the spirit world, or maybe Ice King hasn't been trapped yet. And Jake's looking at the porcelain lamb statue, and he says something about, he's like, Finn, I'm going to free you from your body prison, which is a really interesting phrase to use there because it sounds like a reference to Gnosticism, Gnostic Christianity. It struck me as really interesting.
Body prison of Gnostic Christian. Maybe I don't know Gnosticism as well.
Well,
wait, hold on. I don't know Gnosticism as well as you. Point of fact. Secondary point. Maybe I don't know it well enough to understand what you just said.
Okay, so like Gnosticism, first of all, just a disclaimer, Gnosticism is super, super broad. It's a very big topic. There's a lot of different schools of Gnosticism, but one of the ones that's kind of like known the most is, has this sort of like body spirit duality concept in it, where the physical world and the body is a prison. Our souls are here and we are prisoners of the material world. And in that form of Gnosticism, Jesus was basically like trying to jailbreak us. And so...
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar.
So the body prison is sort of literally like where your soul is trapped. You've got a body prison, I've got a body prison, and that's where our souls get kept.
There's the Mountain Goats, who are one of my only listenable Christian bands. He's not really Christian, but the point is, he's got a really great line. He's talking about, it's a song about watching someone die because they're like at the end of life, but he's just he repeats the line, "I'm not this body that imprisons me."
Yeah,
which is very, very Gnostic of a thought.
Oh yeah,
I guess,
it is. Yeah.
I knew exactly what you were talking about there. I guess I forgot that was part of Gnosticism. When you said Gnosticism, I was thinking BC, like Yaldabaoth and the
Oh, yeah,
Demiurge. Like that's where my head went.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
it's the
what?
same stuff.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
like it didn't. I'm thinking the Greek god stuff, but you're like,
Right.
oh yeah, no, that's like what happens. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. We were like on topic on this episode.
I know.
Check mark.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that
I can just
that's
make boner jokes for the rest of it.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons that I wanted to discuss this one, because like aside from all of this really heavy kind of occult lore that's in this episode, it would be a skip. The plot doesn't really move forward.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. It does have the Wizard Eyes reference, which is a reference to the Lich episodes, but I don't Wizard Eyes ever come up again. I don't think we ever see the spirit world. I don't think we ever see any more Wizard Eyes stuff for the rest of Adventure Time.
I think you might. The only one I can think of that may have it is that episode where they go into the wizard city. Because there's a whole bunch of like check marks of you have to prove yourself to be a wizard. Like,
oh, and is there a part where
I don't remember? I like that's just jumped in my head that maybe
that would be the part where I would suspect that too.
But I mean, other than a debatable one episode, the Wizard Eyes doesn't come back for the entire rest of.
Yeah.
Which it's a cool look. It reminds me of like a Naked Lunch kind of thing where one guy seeing like stuff that everybody, I mean, it's going insane, but like, seeing that kind of first person of like, look, there's a thing over there that's shitting faces, and you're like, no, it's not. I'm in the room with you, dude. BMO is here, singing the Baby Spider song.
Right.
BMO sings a little song in this episode. That's good.
BMO farts in this episode.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore that because it's a fake fart. I'm on record as saying fart humor is not funny, and I don't like it.
Well, I mean, you're wrong. I'm on record saying that you're wrong.
Yes, but I said it first, so I'm right.
No, because you couldn't be wrong until you said it.
No, but I've said it to other people and on other podcasts.
Doesn't matter. This is the only podcast.
Oh, God. That's a depressing thought. I apologize to all the iPods and Zunes out there. This is all you have available. All right, so
anything else about this episode?
No, fun episode. I think we talked about all the important stuff. Yeah.
Did we talk about Ice King's buns?
We did.
Or his winter body?
You're welcome to. I
don't want to.
Weirdly enough, I'm not the one that has any thoughts on it.
Sometimes you want to talk about those things. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't.
Very frequently, I want to talk about those things, but in this case, this is what a weird side, very very small limited use case where I don't really want to talk about.
So we're skipping the buns.
I mean, now that we brought it up, maybe we should talk about it a little bit. No, I got nothing to say. Yeah. Okay. I guess, you see his winter body and... Oh, no, actually do. I'm glad you brought that up. Nothing to do with what you did. Well, it's not about his buns, but... I another, oh boy, do I feel for the Ice King. Like, man, I understand that. He goes, I was going to start up on the elliptical again, and then I got depressed.
Oh
yeah, fucking got that, dude. Totally got that. Under fucking stud.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor Ice King. Poor Alex.
Yeah, poor Alex. Fuck
poor
Ice King.
Alex.
Tom Kinney or whatever is like incredibly wealthy. People love
he's doing
him.
Great.
Yeah, I'm not. So
have you tried being a wizard?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've literally tried to summon demons together, Eric.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know.
Why don't we talk about Gotcha before we do a segment?
Okay.
We do have a few episodes, and
Gotcha is probably the pinnacle of lump science episodes. We did have the first appearance of LSP, Lumpy Space Princess, which was a foray into lump science that maybe isn't actually canonical. Like, we never see Lumpy Space Princess be contagious ever again. So I'm not sure that was real. But this episode is all about kind of like lump science and the anthropology of how lumps work.
Yes. I'm trying to... I thought that they were contagious because I thought they had like a cold or something.
LSP?
In that episode, I thought it was that the one guy had like, lump strep throat or whatever, and that's why they were contagious.
LSP.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot that one. Yeah.
Bit Jake.
Yeah.
That was like the second episode ever.
Yeah. Also, I remembered, I just realized what I confused it with an episode of Rick and Morty.
Oh.
That is what happened. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure they had to have a cold, and that's why Finn wants to have sex with Morty. Oh yeah, no, I definitely got two shows confused. Yeah.
I mean, this episode, it's fun. It's dumb.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say.
I
about
mean,
it.
honestly, I don't like this one. I don't like LSP. I'm on record, and I think this is an especially annoying LSP episode.
God, what's with all these records?
Huh?
Well, I mean, this is the second time you've brought up being on record about something. I didn't realize that there was a record keeper. Do we have like a secretary somewhere? Is it Steph?
You know we're recording this, right?
Oh shit!
That's what these. The thing with like the
What?
fluffy foam that's pointed at your face. That's getting like a record of
I
your
just
voice.
like talking to it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put the Eric nip on it.
Right.
But it's no. This gets recorded.
I mean, it smells so good.
It goes to the internet. Don't even get me started on
Oh
that.
shit, there's an internet
Yeah.
now? Okay. So the best thing about this episode is at the end when Jake yells, LSP, you're wearing garbage for clothes.
Yes.
That's the best thing about this episode. And then the episode ends. So
yeah,
so,
it's just her putting like fruit preserves on her lips to make them look all ugh.
It was gross.
And that part where she wears a trash bag as a dress, but then takes her dress off. So basically, in her mind, she's showing her tits to Finn, the 14-year-old.
Her lumps.
Yeah, still, but the fact that if she can wear a dress, you've now established that there's nude and unnude.
Right.
And she tries to turn him on by taking the dress off and spinning it over her head, a la
Like, oh, no,
strippers
my
from
arm
the
strap.
40s. I don't know where the hell that move came from. I guess, I don't know. I don't know anything about strippers. Maybe they still do that.
Yeah, so that's all I've got to say about this episode. I've got no other notes. Not even any interesting guest actors.
The cursed mirror thing was kind of all right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was her involved, but like, you know, the kind of weird demonic twisted form of something operating on the other side of a mirror that's some strong writing.
Well, and that and it was kind of interesting that it was sort of like the throwaway part of the plot too. It does imply that Finn and Jake are having a lot more adventures.
Have I ever told you about the weird mirror phobia I had for a lot of my life and the dumb way it started?
No.
When I was a kid, there was a show called The Real Ghostbusters. It was a
I remember.
cartoon show.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
There was one episode where there were scary monster demons on the other side of the mirror. There was like another universe on the other side of the mirror.
Uh-huh.
And I internalized that as like, I was terrified of mirrors. So like for a while, not like terrified's the wrong term. Like I could go in, but like I was suspicious and afraid of mirrors. There's probably a better way to put it. And like well into adulthood. And it wasn't like actually doing it, but like I wasn't super confident near, like, not like I would ever, it's almost like if you really think about it and you're like, yeah, I guess my tooth does hurt a little. It's one of those things where if I didn't think about it, but when you think about it, like, yeah, I actually am a little suspicious of the mirror. Like I wasn't like aware, but like I'm like a little suspect of it. And like I'm not saying it's 100% gone, but like, you know, I was in my 20s when I was still like enough like of like kind of like looking over my shoulder, like what's going on in that mirror. All right. So speaking of mirrors, let's hold up a mirror.
Watching you?
A mirror to society.
Okay.
Do a segment.
A segment.
Yes.
Well, which segment should we do?
You came in here just wearing your full marching band outfit, just twirling a baton saying, I've got shiny rocks, and like playing a sousaphone.
I do have shiny rocks.
Yeah.
I think you're going to know what these shiny rocks are, but that doesn't mean that they're any less fun.
I'm O for everyone, I think, that you brought to the show.
Well, not this time.
Oh, good.
Okay. Do you know about minced oaths?
Yes.
Okay. So for those of you in the audience who don't know, minced oaths are like nerfed swear words. So they've been around forever, right? Like we use them to avoid swearing by saying something else. So what I'm going to do is I would like to tell you some minced oaths and see if you can guess the swears that they are covering up.
I want to guess two that I think are going to be on your list.
Okay.
Would that be impressive?
Sure.
Zounds.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is short for God's wounds.
Uh-huh.
And I think Gadzooks is the same.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Those are my, I'm sure I know other ones, but those are my two favorite, because like Zounds, it's like a Scooby-Doo word, but it's actually people like, I'm so afraid of going to hell, I have to say.
The problem I'm having is I have lost the list. What the hell happened to the list?
Oh no. Well, while you're doing that, I can tell the audience at home that I have a short story called The Book of Lists. It's available in the Theravada Machine and other stories available on Amazon. Search for Alex Bollen, ALEXXBOLLEN. You should buy it because I haven't sold a copy in a year, and that's counting last year. That's not true. I've sold less than 10, and it makes me sad. So go out and buy it, even if you wrote it already. Give it to your mom.
Struth.
I guessed God's truth. I mean, it's truth.
Yep. There's some really stupid ones. What?
Oh, stupid ones.
Holy mackerel.
Like, I mean, I think it's just another like holy God thing, right?
It's probably related to Holy Mary.
A Holy Mary. Okay, yeah.
Crivens.
Christ's Revenge. I don't know that. I've never even heard the word Crivens before.
Crivens is Scots English minced oath, and it is a euphemist. It's a minced oath for Christ defend us.
I actually wasn't all that far off.
Yeah, you were close. Heck.
Well, it's hell. Yeah.
Crikey.
Crikey is one? Oh, Christy.
It's just for Christ.
Yeah.
Also, criminy and cripes.
Yeah, Jiminy Christmas is like
Jiminy Christmas. That's one of my. That's my favorite.
Yeah, this is Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Let's see. This is a horrible list. There's some. There are also some really interesting ones that are just kind of like made up oaths, like by Jove.
Yeah. Well, by Jove is by Jehovah, isn't it?
It's probably a minced oath for that, but it's literally referencing a different pagan god that is just not believed anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Anymore,
yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think if I can think of any off the top of my head. There's the other side of it, which is kind of a minced oath. Like the Miss Mary Mac, Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black, silver buttons down her butt, and she says, "You have to go to hello, operator."
Yeah.
Where it, like,
yeah.
Which is kind of like a minced oath adjacent. Yeah.
There's some really good ones on here. Cheese and rice.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Right? Yeah.
Yep. Dag nabbit.
God damn it! Yeah.
Dang.
Damn, yeah.
Darn.
Oh, I don't know that. Oh, you know what it is? It's because Jesus sewed together the threads of humanity, and like darning your socks, you're referencing Jesus.
So Gadzooks is actually God's hooks, and it's referring to the wounds of Christ on the cross.
I've heard of God's wounds.
That's Zounds. God's.
Oh, sorry. You said
yeah.
No, you're right. Sorry. I heard what I wanted.
I mean, a lot of these are just so stupid. Like golly gee willikers. Good garden party. Good grief. Goodness gracious. Jason Crisp. Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah. The other one, we don't think about it that much, but like the Twitch streamer, because they want to be able to sell their stuff to under 18s, you can say frick instead of fuck is a minced oath.
Sacre bleu is a minced oath in French. It's apparently...
Well, sacre bleu would be sacred
blue or something like that. But it's...
Where would it be from?
Sang de Dieu, which means God's blood.
Yeah. See, I know a little French. I just proved it right there.
Sam Hill is another good one. That's hell.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to figure out the Sam. Yeah.
And then tarnation, which is damnation.
Damnation,
I like that one too. Anyhow, there's a lot of them. Some of them are really old and interesting. Some of them are newer and kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Some of them are just sort of hilarious. And I think minced oaths are great. And it's hilarious that we still use them. And I use them.
I was just thinking
I feel good about them when I use them. I like them. They're hilarious.
I think blimey is it started with God blind me.
Yes.
Yeah. That's another one. Yeah. I knew some in my brain somewhere.
So there we go. Minced oaths. That was my shiny rock.
Yes. You could have brought a minced pie. I think that would have been great, but
next time.
Good. Try to find a gluten-free
minced
pie in this neighborhood. Yeah, it's
Can
gonna
you
be. I don't know if you want a mixed pie in this neighborhood, let alone a gluten-free
You have to
one.
make them yourself.
Yeah, fuck that.
Okay, next.
Let's talk about Princess Cookie.
Season 4, episode 13, Princess Cookie.
I would like to start my notes on this episode.
Okay.
I'm going to read every single one.
Okay.
Ahem. Alvin's Hot Juice Box.
Alvin's Hot Juice Box!
That is my entire list of notes for this episode. It's fine. I had no thoughts. I'm just like, yeah, this they're doing it. They're making an episode. There's like, I've nothing. I apologize to the audience at home if you're like, Alex, I really want to know your thoughts about who might be Mos Def as a cookie, robbing a store.
It's Donald Faison.
Oh, Donald Faison.
Who played
Okay,
Turk on Scrubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sounds a little bit like Mos Def.
Does he?
Mos Def, well, at least there's an episode of House where Mos Def shows up. And I apologize for calling him that. I don't know the name he goes by these days. But he's in a coma, and the way he talks sounds a little bit like this. I think it's maybe just voiceover, voiceover voice. You know,
I wonder if it's the Scrubs guy doing the voiceover.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
So another thing, the wiki page for this episode pointed out that it seems like Candy Kingdom technology has improved. Like there is Candy, the Banana Guard have improved weapons. They have helicopters now.
Oh, that's
They've
right.
got all this stuff going on. And also there is a little shot in the background where we do see Goliad and Finn's clone son facing off against each other in the background. And we also see the Ice King's pony costume.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, so there's a scene where there's a pony.
Yeah.
But it's not a pony. It's two Banana Guards in Ice King's pony
Oh,
costume.
I mean, I guess, yeah. I guess
it's the exact same face.
No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
I not that I didn't pick up on that. No, that's right. I didn't pick up on that.
I saw it and I immediately was like, oh, Kate Beaton's pony again. And then I was like, oh, that's totally Ice King's pony costume. You can see the Banana Guards in the middle.
Yeah. No, you're right. I didn't think about that. In my defense, in my brain, that costume originally is like a cow. I don't know why, but like a cow is in my brain for it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to defend my fucking crumbling mental state.
There's also a scene, so at the end when the Banana Guards are running after Jake and Cookie Princess, you can see the Banana Guards' buttholes.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Huh. How are they looking? Nice?
They're just like little X's.
Well, that
We've
seems
seen
very
them
nice.
before on the show.
Yeah. I feel like they should probably like...
They're like they remind me of that Neko game that you could get for your phone where the cats like come and hang out at a house and stuff.
I know Neko is Japanese for cat. That's all I know about whatever you're talking about.
Well, I know a video game that you don't know.
It's true. Well, I know that Neko wafers were originally made from cat. This is where they got their name.
Why are they spelled differently then?
Well, because the New England CC organization, well, Neko stands for the New England Cookie and Crisp organization or something. It's I mean, that's none of those words are right except for New England.
Right.
But I found that out years ago and like, the fuck? Is that really where Neko comes from? All right. All right. So, Princess Cookie, it's fine. There's nothing. I like Finn sneaking around as a shadow, even though it was incredibly stupid, but it's like, that's one of those moments of kids show. Alex, you're watching a kids show. This is totally acceptable.
I mean, that's all I got for it too. It's definitely a skip episode. So I guess we should just move on.
We should. Let's move on.
To season 4, episode 14, Card Wars.
Yes. Interesting fact about this. When I said I like this episode, I do like this episode, but I was thinking of the one where Jake plays this game with his kid.
Oh, yeah. That's not until season 8.
No, I know. That's why I was like, as I started watching, I'm like, oh, yeah, we haven't even fucking met his kids yet. Of course this isn't yet. But
I don't think they're even born yet.
No, you're right. That's one of the... This was kind of annoyed with myself that I was thinking of that one. This episode's totally good, but that one I actively like, oh, that's one of my favorites. This one's like, oh, this is a good episode. Yeah.
I flute my pig.
Yeah. So what is your experience with deck building games such as the Card Wars?
So let's see. I played Legend of the Five Rings for a little while, and I played Magic the Gathering for a little while, but I never really got into either of them. Legend of the Five Rings, I read a bunch of the novels. I thought those were really good, and I got the books for the D&D campaign setting, and I thought that was really good. But I never really had... I've never really got into the card building games. But did you play those at all?
I played exactly 2 rounds of Magic the Gathering because my friend in middle school tried to teach me it.
Uh-huh.
And he was one of those guys that's really good, and instead of teaching it, he just wanted to show off how good he was at it.
So he jaked you?
Worse, though.
Oh.
Because, like,
Because he was actually good.
Yeah. And then, my Slay the Spire obsession,
I love Slay the Spire,
which is, a card builder.
I'm not as good as you, though.
I'm now at Ascension 20 Ironclad, which I've gotten to the heart a few times on, so I feel like that's going to be over soon, because the Defect one was very difficult. A20 Ironclad, I just raced there. From A1 to A20, I think I maybe lost 3 times.
Wow, that's nuts. Yeah, I can't even get to the heart most of the time.
Well, what you need to do is floop your pig more often.
You got to get the pig first.
Well, I thought the pig was part of the starter cards. There's a lot going on in this episode that I very much enjoy.
Yeah.
But one of the things I really like about this is, and it's not subtle, but it's not a direct plot, is the implied background between Jake and BMO.
Yeah.
And the times they played. Now it gets revealed a little bit later what actually happened.
Yeah.
But when they're like, "Hey, BMO, do you want to play?" And he goes, "I do not play such games with Jake." But the with Jake at the end, the way that pause happens, it's so fucking good. Like, it is. I love implied past. Like, that is one of my favorite kind of storytelling things.
I also like that BMO is getting developed more and more, even though it's still kind of like background stuff.
Yeah.
BMO still hasn't had. Well, we had the football episode already, right? Did we do football? Or has that not happened?
I don't
yet?
think we've done football yet.
Okay, well, I know we've got BMO Noir coming up.
Isn't that football?
Is that football? I thought football already got introduced.
Shit, I don't remember. Sorry, man.
but in any case, like, we haven't had a whole lot of like BMO as main character episodes yet. But BMO keeps getting more to do. I was thinking about it because, like, in this episode, Lady Rainicorn is referenced a number of times.
Yeah.
But and Nikki Yang is the voice of Lady Rainicorn and BMO. But Lady Rainicorn doesn't show up. Instead, it's BMO. But we see BMO on the skateboard. We see BMO like actually doing stuff. I like seeing that.
Yeah, I just rewatched Gravity Falls, and I had forgotten that.
Oh yeah, and she's in that.
Yeah, one of Maisie. What the fuck's it?
Mabel.
Yeah. One of her friends is Nancy Yang and
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki, sorry. I think there is a Nancy Yang, but Nikki Yang. And she's just doing the BMO voice. Like, there's literally no change.
No
and
change.
It's just, I mean, I like that show anyway, but it was like a nice, like, oh, BMO. All right, yeah.
I didn't write down the names of all the snacks, but there was a drink called Total Soda. There's like a bag of something called Chipped Teeth.
Yes.
And then there's ham chunk juice.
Ham chunk juice is the one I wrote down. Yeah. Ham chunk juice is fucking disgusting. I would like to give you a very short anecdote from my past.
This is a ham chunk juice.
I made my friend, who I'll leave their name off the list, I tricked him into drinking Spam juice. Because we were making breakfast Spam and grits.
Oh, God.
And
that sounds awful.
Spam and grits is delicious.
Yeah.
But I convinced them that that's the best way to get rid of hangovers, is that you just chug the Spam juice.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Did they puke?
No, but they didn't like it very much. And they especially didn't like it when I told them, ew, I can't believe you fell for that. Of course, I've never drank Spam juice. What are you, an idiot? They were quite mad at it.
So don't have a hangover around Alex.
Well, no. Don't have a hangover and be 16 and dumb around Alex.
Okay.
Which federally, I'm not allowed to have that happen anymore anyway, so it works out.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, so there was one thing in this episode that kind of caught my eye that I was sort of like, wait, is that... so there's a scene where they're kind of like looking out the window, or they're doing something at the window, and the window has a really strange pane configuration. And I was immediately sort of like, is that a Fibonacci sequence on the window? So I rewound and I looked, and it was not. It was a bummer. I really wanted it to be a Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, then Tool could write a song about this episode.
Why? What?
It's something from the internet.
Okay. Yeah, and then there's also a scene in this episode where Jake gets really angry, and he gets big.
Yes.
And there's definitely serves as a reminder that Jake is a particularly scary sort of magical creature. And the full depths of Jake's weird magic doghood don't get explored until like the last season.
Yeah, that part reminds me of you don't know that your friend has a bad temper because you've never seen it before.
Yeah. Until
you start beating them at a game.
Yeah.
And I've had multiple friends who are like, whoa, I didn't know that was in you. Like, just like really freaked the fuck out at losing. Yeah, Jake doing that is kind of great. The other part of this that I don't think I really appreciated how funny it is that there's so much corn-based humor.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's such a corn-based game. Like there's
Yeah.
Husker Nights, and it's so
Who is it, like Dan the Archer?
Yeah,
and he shoots corn
he shoots
arrows.
corn. I don't know. Like, I guess I noticed it was funny. It just was the first time I went like, oh yeah, that actually is really just crisply brilliant. You didn't need to do that. And I like the Finn doing the smug face of like when he's winning or whatever. It's really fun. Yeah, him just kind of rubbing. He's like, I don't know, man. I guess I'm just good at this.
There's another interesting thing about it is like all of the holographic technology involved.
Yeah,
Like, where does that even coming from?
yeah.
Is it magic?
I mean, I don't know, because Jake has a holographic news service, which we saw in season 1.
Yeah,
So there's some weird hologram shit happening.
true. Yeah, it's crazy.
We also have the BMO doing the BMO chop, which is adorable.
Yeah.
And then BMO declaring, if this were a real attack, you'd be dead. Love it.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun episode. I guess it's not really much of a plot mover either.
No, it's just an adorable, fun. All of our characters get to do fun stuff.
Yeah, and Card Wars shows up later. Like the fact that Jake plays Card Wars does end up being important in 4 more seasons.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Truth. And Finn gets a little thing in where he tricks Jake into drinking the disgusting juice by saying how good it is.
He
Which I
does.
like, because Finn's a fucking moron for the most part. Or a flippin' man ran to use a minced oath.
Flippin' Man Ran?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
It's not bad.
Works for me. Yeah. So I guess that's sort of like all I have to say about this.
Yeah, me too.
There weren't any additional characters. Like one of the card characters does have a couple lines, but I can't remember. The person who played it was, I think, just somebody on the set.
Yeah.
I guess it's time to figure out who won these episodes.
Sure.
We should do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an obvious choice, but you can go first.
Banana Guard number 2.
No.
What?
Eric, what are you, an idiot?
No.
Dan the Archer.
Okay. Dan the Archer.
He's got a name. It's Dan the Archer.
Okay, I'm
It's
there.
Dan.
I'm in it. I'm in it. Dan the Archer. Dan the Archer won these episodes.
Yeah, damn straight. Oh, man, I can't believe you're dissing Dan like that.
I mean, the Banana Guards who were in the pony costume, I would vote for them too.
Then we're Dan.
But also, we could vote for Goliad.
Dan the Archer.
Goliad was in the background.
He's got a definite article in front of his name. He's important. All right, let's do one more small segment and leave. Any ideas what small segment you'd like to do?
Well, I think you should do the segment this time.
No, what I mean, like us to do. Should I just do some more shiny rocks, or do we?
Do we have any other segments? What are some other segments that we normally do? Do we have?
The off the top of our head segments are generally shiny rocks and what you've been watching, reading, doing, whatever. Which I actually don't have a lot for that one, but I can come up with one.
Okay, let's do some shiny rocks.
Okay. Well, first, this is just a recommendation, and we'll put the link in the show notes. I read an article on The Atlantic. It's based on one of their podcasts.
Is your
but
recommendation The Atlantic?
I mean, kind of. But it was a whole... people talked about, like, this person studied the history of the barcode. And it was really interesting.
The
And,
history
like,
of the barcode.
yeah. It's called The Last Days of the Barcode. And they were talking about how, the barcode's probably going to be on its way out. And the, like, International Grocers Council or whatever the fuck it is, they're moving towards doing, like, a QR code style, because you can fit more information in there. So for, like, sales tracking or whatever, you can figure out when it was sold, blah, 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 because there's so many more bits of information you can hide in a QR code than a traditional barcode.
I have a question about that. The sheer number of books in print that have barcodes on the back and books on people's shelves and those barcodes are used by libraries, they're used by bookstores. While I can definitely believe that like barcodes are going to stop being put on new things, I think that there are so many barcodes out there on things with really, really long lives that they're going to be around for a while.
Oh, totally. But I mean, the same thing is when barcodes started to get popular, years upon years ago. Like when I was a kid, pretty much everything had barcodes, but there were still stores that had the little paper sticker saying how much it was.
Yeah.
And there was an overlap of there would be things with barcodes and the paper sticker on it. And I think you'll probably be seeing that you have a barcode. I mean, honestly, they may talk about it in the interview. I just kind of skimmed the parts that I liked, and it was really interesting. But yeah, the Atlantic. Okay, so let's.
I do have a barcode complaint.
Oh, please.
So Powell's Books.
I heard of them.
I love Powell's Books, but they put their own barcode sticker over every single book that they sell that has a barcode on it, and I hate that.
Why do you hate that?
Because I use scanning software to keep track of the books in my library, and it doesn't work with Powell's barcodes.
Got it. Well, that'll be old kind of now, because I'm pretty sure like Google Lens, you can point at the front of the book and it'll tell you what it is. You can...
Well, that only works if it interfaces with my library software.
Yeah, so that's your library software's fault. Don't blame the QR code or whatever we're talking about. But here's your choices. You can have like traditional shiny rock, a neologism that I found funny, or an old-timey word that I was unaware of, and I was shocked that I was unaware of it.
Old-timey word.
And you're going to know this one. It's not even old-timey. It's kind of recent, but sward.
Sward?
S-W-A-R-D.
Isn't that a piece of land?
Yeah. It's like a little grassy thing. I've been reading the Conan books, and boy, does he lay down on the sward a lot. And I didn't know that word. Like, I'm sure I've heard it at some point, but I mean, I figured it out from context, like immediately, but he uses it so often I was unfamiliar with it. I'm like, I should look this up just to see if there's something, and there's not. It's exactly what I thought it was from, in context. But, yeah, I was like, sward. I just somehow made it to 43 years old, and 34 years old, without ever hearing that word.
I mean, I don't think I've ever heard it said out loud.
I think the first time I heard it said out loud was the audiobook I'm listening to.
I mean, I read a lot of Conan books when I was a kid.
Right, but
so
he
I
uses
think
sword a lot. So that's,
And thews. Thews.
Oh, yeah.
Those are...
What's thews again?
Those are Conan's iron thews, his muscles, his...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Flexed, showing off his steely thews.
Yeah.
His cord-like thews.
Yeah. He does use thews a lot. You know what's funny is there's the waifish, tiny English actor, David Thewlis. And he's actually weird nominative determinism.
Yeah, he has no thews.
He has no thews.
If you are listening to this episode and you enjoyed it, or even if you don't enjoy it, please come and follow us over on Blue Sky, where we are WizBiz Podcast. Follow us on TikTok, where we are WizBiz Podcast. Send us an email, where we are WizBizPodcast@gmail.com. And most importantly, please go to our website, WizBizPodcast.com, and subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcasting app. We are available on everything from Google Podcasts, which no longer exists, to
YouTube Music, which exists.
Yeah, to Apple Podcasts, to Stitcher, to all that kind of crap. You can find us anywhere. Please subscribe, tell a friend, have a lovely day, and enjoy some cartoons.
What he said.
Toodles.
The ending was not believable.